Welcome back to my blacksmithing workshop. Let's talk about doubt. On that first Easter morning, the disciples were living in doubt. They were living as if Jesus were not alive, had lost, and was not king. This is the story of how they came to believe. On that first Easter morning, before it was even daylight, Mary Magdalene went to the tomb. When she got there, she saw that the stone had been rolled away. She went into the tomb, and the body was missing. In despair and anguish, she ran to find Peter and John. They hurried to the tomb, came, went in, and saw the grave clothes lying there, empty, and they believed and went home. Mary still doubted. She stood outside the tomb weeping because she loved Jesus so very much. After a while, she looked back in the tomb. There were two angels dressed in white, and they asked her, "Woman, why are you crying?" Mary answered, "Someone has taken the body of my Lord, and I cannot find him." Turning around, she saw Jesus next to her, but did not recognize him. He asked her, "Woman, why are you weeping?" Taking him to be the gardener, someone who might know where the body was, she said, "Sir, if you have taken him or know where he is, tell me so that I can go get him." Jesus looked at her and said, "Mary." Mary recognized him and believed. Jesus asked her to go tell the other disciples what she had seen, and she did. Most of the disciples were gathered in a room that night, locked, for fear of the Jewish and Roman authorities. Jesus appeared among them. He showed them the marks from the nails and the place where the spear had pierced his side, and they believed. Thomas, the twin, who was one of the 12 disciples, was not there with them. When those disciples that were there told him, he doubted. He wanted to see the signs for himself. 8 days later, many disciples were gathered again, and this time Thomas was with them. And Jesus appeared again and went to Thomas and showed him the marks of the nails and the place where the spear had pierced his side. Thomas believed and said, "My Lord and my God." Jesus replied, "Did you believe because you have seen me? Blessed are those who have not seen me, yet believe." Those people include you and me. But what does it mean to believe? Is it thinking that Jesus is risen? Or saying, "My Lord and my God"? That's not enough. It's living with Jesus as Lord and God. That's very hard. In fact, those early disciples who had the proofs, who had seen Jesus themselves, struggled with it. They continued for weeks to hide behind locked doors instead of sharing the gospel as they should have. They soon would, because Jesus would send the Holy Spirit. But that's a story for Pentecost. We'll talk about it then. I've been tinkering with making leaves and branches. I'm thinking about making a branch or maybe even a tree, depending on how long this isolation goes on for our Children's Worship Center, since it matches the theme. So watch for this in future videos. Have a great week.